Hello YouTube. It's been a long time that I've just sat and talked about Katelyn Nicole Davis's case. Well, a long time that I've done so publicly, I should say. I don't have any real updates for you unless you didn't already know that Katelyn's mom, Tammy, has been in jail since March of this year for several third-degree forgery charges. Katelyn's pathetic excuse for her stepdad, Anthony, is still attempting to live like he's some innocent man. Well, before he gets caught for certain things, I should say. But I'm not going to say what those things are. I kind of want him to worry. But then again, for him to worry, that would imply that he actually cares about the destruction he causes, which we know he doesn't. So he can just be blissfully ignorant for now. I wanted to take this time to thank the Katelyn community. Sometimes we refer to it as the K&D community. The K&D community includes anyone and everyone who's been touched by Katelyn and continues to spread her legacy of kindness, as well as wants to learn more about her or help her siblings and help her case receive some sort of justice, help other kids and vulnerable adults who are like Katelyn, or just anyone who wants to grieve her and grieve her with others online who feel the same. You make the world a better place even if you don't realize it. Most of us here met Katelyn online. We first heard her voice and saw her face in front of a curtain with black, blue, and purple circles on it, or we saw her in the few other rooms of her trailer, recording from her phone to this online world. And it's here online where we all continue to find each other. So many of you share comments and messages with what you all have in common with Katelyn. Even grown men empathize with Katelyn. She's given broken ones a voice, even though she never had anyone being a voice for her. She's brought many of you together, even in person, as friends and lovers, as roommates, and as self-made legal teams. Y'all range in age from teens to seniors. Y'all come from a huge variety of clashing beliefs and ideologies, but y'all never give up on Katelyn, and it shows. There are so many Facebook groups devoted to remembering and supporting Katelyn, and despite them over the years, as with all online groups, sometimes having major ups and downs regarding miscommunication or distrust of each other, in the end, the groups prevail with forgiveness, and that is because of Katelyn and her message of love and understanding.
That book was written by a bunch of stupid girls who make up rumors because they're bored with their own lame lies.
Well, unless someone wants to come forward and say I made it all up, this is how we have to handle it.
Mr. Duval, I wrote it.
How much trouble did you get in for telling the truth?
A lot.
Well, you didn't write that whole book yourself. Did you tell Mr. Duval who else did it?
No, because I'm trying this new thing where I don't talk about people behind their backs.
During this time of quarantine all over the world, many humans have not been able to function while so isolated and trapped and all alone. Yet Katelyn never allowed such a limited lifestyle to affect her never-ending affection and patience that she gave to her beloved sister and brother. During this time of quarantine, I've seen public figures talking about mental health more than usual and reaching out a helping hand to those in need. And while it makes me happy to witness this generosity, I just wish Katelyn and those like her could have easily been offered that same sort of attention before this pandemic. Months and years preceding this pandemic, many of us were isolated and catatonic to a point, in varying crises, out of our control, struggling to survive. But society tends to ignore that which isn't sensationalized like a pandemic-related type of depression. This is why the Katelyn community is incredibly important and will last forever, no matter the embarrassed family members of Katelyn's who try to silence the community, nor the perverted and relentless trolls who attempt to break it down. The community has Katelyn's legs of love to stand on, and her love was endless. So, with all of that said, here we are in the middle of 2020, and it's time we look over some random Katelyn-related things. Let's start with these HD edits from a user on Instagram, as well as from a friend of mine. How amazing are these? We felt like we got to know Katelyn already from her countless videos, but these polished still shots of her make her feel even more alive. She looks so much like Grant Valerie to me. When I look at this photo, I wish I could know what was the final straw in her mind What made her determined at this point? I just want to take her phone and recover every deleted message and corner Anthony. To think she'd be gone only minutes after this image was captured is still unreal to me. An innocent, empathetic, super smart 12-year-old like her is about to hang herself, terminating her entire existence on that very property she playfully shared with her siblings, that very yard that her trailer sat on, the very trailer she just watched the fun movie Finding Dory in hours earlier, that tree behind her whose branches swung in the sunlight from outside her window in many of her live streams would soon be a tool in ending her tragic life. It's unbelievable to me to this day. And to think her local police acted like this was just a normal reaction in a child with depression, that'll never make sense to me, nor be acceptable. Moving on to a happier photo, this is how I think of Katelyn, adventurous and ready to face the world. She's got her bag and sneakers on, and she had the potential to take on whatever goal she wanted. She liked to explore, and I see that her shirt says Great Smoky Mountains National Park on it. I wonder if she went there or if the shirt was given to her. Now look at this toddler photo of her. I see this one shared all the time. This is one of the HD edits of it though, so it looks especially crystal clear. Just imagine if she always could have felt the happiness that it looks like she had in this picture. Now something about this picture is just simply breathtaking to me, and I can't explain it. Do you know what I mean? Now this photo almost leaves me speechless. Her beautiful personality really shines through here and makes her features glow. I do want to stop here for a second and say, some of y'all in the K&D community, y'all have expressed that you don't think you're as pretty or unique as Katelyn, and therefore no one will miss you when you die. And I just want to say what Katelyn said in one of her live streams, which is, kindness is beauty. Looks, they come and go. And we all know that if Katelyn was a bully, her aura of beauty just wouldn't be what it is. It's always a disservice to yourself to compete anyways, since we all will leave this earth without our flesh, without our faces, without our bodies. And the only thing that matters in the end is how you have affected other people. So yes, Katelyn is a natural beauty, but no one cries for Katelyn to this day because of that. They cry for her because she was living a life of torment. She deserved the world and she received nothing. Keep in mind that her beauty was not enough to get her the help she deserved. No one in her family, including the disturbed creeps in her live stream audience, helped her get ahead in life because of her beauty. If anything, they saw her beauty as something to take advantage of. So please, to those of you who message me with envy toward Katelyn, please try to rid yourself of those feelings. I promise you will feel love for yourself if you love others and just wait for the right person or people to enter your life. This next photo right here, isn't it great when you can tell that her smile is coming from within, like that it's totally real? She had that kind of smile where her head would tilt to the side and it's almost like she was kind of analyzing, and I find it just really comforting. Now, this right here is not Katelyn. This is actually an actress who reminds me so much of Katelyn appearance-wise that I just wanted to throw these in. Her name is Sophia Lillis, and she's been in some new movies like It and Hansel and Gretel, and there's also a new Netflix series she's in, as well as some other shows and films. So this is something I wanted to briefly touch on because this sort of predatory behavior impacted Katelyn in a very negative way, and it's still an ongoing threat to people like Katelyn online. This fake Facebook profile is a real-life, current example of these types of predators I'm talking about. Here is one of many catfish profiles that is used to fake message young girls inappropriately and bring them down if they feel depressed and try to get them to kill themselves. This particular one is by a man named Tony, who has long harassed Katelyn's supporters. I'm showing this as a reminder to immediately report and expose dangerous social media users like this. So many regulars in Katelyn's live stream audience were grown men like Tony, and they were never stopped by anyone. Moving on, here's a quote I saved that reminded me of Katelyn and many of you in the community. It says, "Family dysfunction rolls down from generation to generation like a fire in the woods, taking down everything in its path until one person has the courage to turn and face the flames. That person brings peace to their ancestors and spares the children that follow." I want y'all listening right now to stay courageous, no matter who in your family circle calls you a liar or tries to silence you or tries to rewrite the very history that still hurts you to this day. You can be the change by speaking out. I also want to share this quote since many of you put others over your own self, but many times you're being taken advantage of. The quote reads, "Evil versus broken. Do not confuse a broken person for an evil person. A broken person can be fixed, an evil person cannot. An evil person causes pain. They hurt others. They deliberately cause chaos. A broken person would never do any of these things because they know how it feels to be on the other side of these actions." Don't confuse someone who can be saved with someone you need to be saved from. I'll add, it's important that you don't allow people to use you as an emotional punching bag just because they claim to be a victim. Victim or not, no one is allowed to hurt you over and over and over again. Please walk away from that if possible and reach out. Being broken on the inside doesn't give anybody a free pass to be evil. So here, this is actually a drawing that Katelyn did years ago, not long before her tragic end, and I just found this so awesome, and it's pretty rare. I don't think I've seen it online very much, but I can only see a little of what she wrote, but from what I can read it says, "Side by side, so perfect, so clear. When I awake, you disappear. Back to the shadows with all I hold dear, with all I hold dear. I dream you're still here, I dream you're still here." So I looked up what that could be from, and it's from a song called "Still Here" by Digital Daggers. And when I heard the song and its lyrics, it actually made me cry for Katelyn because it is exactly how many of us feel about Katelyn being gone forever. Here it is.
Every night, I dream you're still here. The ghost by my side, so perfectly clear. When I awake, you'll disappear. Back to the shadows with all I hold dear. With all I hold dear. I dream you're still here. I dream you're still here.
So here we have a handheld photo of Katelyn, and you can see where she used marker to cover her stepdad's face. Okay, so talk about random, but here's the design pattern from her famous curtain she was always filming in front of. Walmart used to carry it, as you see, and it was by the brand Your Zone. And while it's no longer available, you might be able to find it on eBay or at a thrift store or something, so that would be pretty cool. That would be like owning a popular artifact from her life. This photo is a still shot from one of her videos that showed her wall, and she wrote on it the lyrics, "Will be the perfect family," and she put a big X over the word perfect. It actually looks like she dug, drew extra hard for the X, with passion behind it. This is from the Melanie Martinez song Dollhouse.
We'll be a perfect family. Places, getting you places. Throw on your dress and put on your doll faces. Everyone thinks that we're perfect. Please don't let them look through the curtains.
Melanie Martinez is an artist who has always reminded me of Katelyn for many reasons. Now this screenshot is of a post left by Katelyn's distant uncle, Steve Lee Parrish. He posted this in a Katelyn group on Facebook right after her passing. I wanted to show this old post because it holds so many raw feelings in it, that evoke so many emotions in anyone who's reading it. He said, "This is Steve Lee Parrish. Well, it's finally here, and I did not want to see it. It sort of hit me hard around 6 o'clock because during the day she was alive until late that afternoon. I don't show my emotions, I keep them in. It's hard, but the military instilled it in me so I'd be able to take care of my subordinates. I was what you call a hard-ass sergeant, and it's still in me after all these years. I feel like I want to give in my vehicle and find Tammy and Anthony and do justice, even though I have said I do not want to see vigilante justice. Because I know if I do, I will lose everything Marie and I have worked so hard for so long. It hurts so bad in my mind every time I go to the church and just hold it in. I know in my heart Marie and I have done everything that we possibly can to make sure that the cemetery plot is very well taken care of and presentable, just like Madison's grave. The immediate family is so ignorant and stupid. They will not take care of it. It will be up to me." So this is a very short and random quote I feel is very relevant to Katelyn. It reads, "The most messed up joke life will play on you is letting you meet the right person at the wrong time." And I wanted to just share this because I think this is how many of us felt after learning about Katelyn. And I don't really have anything else to say about that quote, so. Here, we have Luke Callahan, the grown man from Massachusetts who shamelessly and publicly had sexual relations with Katelyn online. Even though Polk County knew about this and witnessed it on video and didn't care. Thank goodness Luke Callahan eventually got incarcerated for unrelated rape charges, however. These rape charges are with a minor. I wanted to show this screenshot because this is no different than what I still see on these live streaming sites to this day. Even the popular ones like TikTok, and it just has to be stopped. The Luke Callahans of the internet, they steal away innocence from naive kids and teens. They emotionally groom them. They taint their minds and they lead them down dangerous paths.
Got 110 people watching me. If I were you, I would be like really careful what you say because my boyfriend might come back at any time, and like if you say something perverted to me, he's gonna block your ass. Like I don't block anybody, it's him who blocks. Him and then Eric blocks too. He's my second admin. Luke, he's my boyfriend, he's right there. He's my first admin. And he will block the hell out of you. He already blocked like 4 people. Okay? He blocks people. Like, if you say, "Oh my god, you're so beautiful," even if you're a girl, he gives you a warning, he's like, no, she's mine. And then you keep on, like, "You're so pretty," or "Your eyes are, like, amazing," he blocks you. He's protective. I like that, though. I never had a protective boyfriend, so.
If you're a parent or a relative to children and teens, and you have to make sure that these sorts of interactions with adults are just not accessible to them at all. If you're a witness to this sort of filth, even as a stranger, please do not underestimate the power of reporting. No respectful, well-intended adult talks privately with minors online for fun in their pastime. So, I'm going to end this here. Y'all are awesome people for caring so much about the voiceless. Many of you would make amazing detectives, police, therapists, psychiatrists, teachers, parents. No matter how you may view yourself, remember that Katelyn often hated herself, and we all know she was so much more than how she viewed herself. Let that be a reminder to love yourself, no matter how much your brain may try to bully you into thinking otherwise. We are not always how we see ourselves, just as Anthony Rogers is not the innocent man he sees himself as.
If you buy me food like Starbucks or like McDonald's, then I will like so love you. But besides that, sorry. I'm sorry.